It's such a crucial and important time to understand a few things, and especially those that are on a fairly advanced or spiritual path, those that are doing a lot of motivational work regarding themselves, people who are on internal journeys. It is a wonderful opportunity right now to what I would call surrender the props or collapse the matchsticks. I have really experienced this myself in my life where we are so frantic to survive that we just prop every single part of ourselves up using threads or matchsticks. We do so much work and so much effort in trying to lift an inch off the ground to keep ourselves an inch away from going broke and keep a roof over our head, keeping a bed beneath us and food in our tummies. We seem to have these props that hold our past in place and all our trauma and everything we've been through. There's these narrow walls or this thin veneer that separates us from what has happened to us in the past. So everywhere we turn, it seems to be such a fragile existence where at any moment it all can all come crashing down around us. It can all cease, and the altered ego part of us, or what we would in our work call the Walter within us, will build a glass house, will build a house of matchsticks to try and keep a hurricane at bay. Those adepts on the advanced path would do something very differently. They would recognize that the storm is an opportunity to allow the matchsticks and the thin veneers and the things without substance to actually collapse and fall away. And for some, it could bring about a complete surrender of all the trops, which means in our terms, surrender or collapsing or dying to the entire world. So your whole psychological pyramid that you've constructed around yourself to try and be someone, have a self-image, to try and find a place in the world, there's a place and an opportunity at the moment where you can, in the depths of your soul and in your internal landscapes, completely surrender it all. We keep our nervous systems going, and we've always got to find these places of tension. If we don't have tension in all these many places, whether it's our health, our wealth, finances, what we're eating, our diet, the dog, the cat, our children, our parents, our partners, whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day, alive. So it's almost as if we've got to create these little dramas and these little places where we're unfixed, where we're unwhole, so that we can have these little tensions. And these little tensions are what's fortifying this egoic small Walter self who doesn't have a clue how to do planet Earth. What we are in fear of is that if we do completely surrender the world on a psychological basis, if we do surrender it all, if we do go into a cave within ourselves, maybe close ourselves up into our room and completely give up, completely surrender the fight, the tension, and acknowledge perhaps we can't meet half the challenges that we're trying to meet and dismally meet. If we give it up, then, and we give it up completely and totally, if something really remarkable can occur. When we give up that shadow, not even the ghost, the shadow of this world, of our psychology of trying to make it work, trying to achieve, trying to win, we give it up. We don't fall. You don't fall when you lose the world, or your idea of the world. Let's put it to you that way. People very equate this message very much on a physical sense. This is not a physical world. It's your entire psychological world inside. When you surrender it and you give it up, something remarkable happens. You don't fall. You don't disappear into oblivion. You don't become nothing. You become nothing. The psychology of self becomes nothing, but you're put into direct contact with something far grander and greater. And it is very interesting because you spend your life trying to act out like a drop of water, but a drop of water that's on dry land, constantly trying to remain a drop of water on dry land, even on a rock, up in a tree, and you're trying to show the whole world, but I'm a drop of water. When you surrender the world, the psychology of your internal world, and you know that alone you can't do this, that drop of water, you feel like this, like you are returned to the ocean. So as a drop of water, if you're returned to the ocean, all the tension is completely gone out of your whole system, out of your whole body, your mind, your heart, everything, because you realize and you feel in its entirety that you no longer have to maintain, survive, prove yourself as a drop of water, that you are completely supported, held, and you belong. Of course, as a drop of water, you're on the ocean. You belong, finally. You're a part of, and you realize that you didn't need the fight all along. You didn't need to cast yourself and try and survive in a landscape where you don't honestly belong. It's so crucial at this time, if you can, to use this time and space during what everybody on the globe is going through, what we call a pandemic, that they, if they can, and the advanced students will know who you are. If you surrender the world of your internal psychology, and you realize that you can't act out being a drop of water on dry land anymore. Here, people are very interesting, very creative. So instead of returning to the ocean and feeling completely supported and a part of something so whole, complete, and grand, they would rather get creative and build little vessels to hold themselves while they're on dry land. Or they will create elaborate structures whereby they can exist under the midday sun and not be completely evaporated. We're very creative as human beings. You don't have to get creative anymore. You don't have to be on dry land. You can just surrender it all. And internally, you can and have the opportunity to return back to that mighty ocean, to that consciousness. You'll be welcomed and where you were always a part of. This is an interesting and beautiful time to learn to surrender the props that are keeping you, beautiful consciousness, keeping you on dry land, fighting for survival in a landscape that is foreign and where you can and never were meant to thrive. This is my message today. I'm Jelly Bausch from Inspire Sphere.